Yeah, we are welcome to the demo session, right? I believe we have all downloaded AdventureWorks database back file and restored the database on our management studio. So once you have restored, you would see you can expand on database like this, and then you see your AdventureWorks DB, right? Then you can as well expand on AdventureWorks DB to see the tables, right? You can see there are several tables in AdventureWorks DB. So this is replica of what a real life organization database would look like with several tables. And
we can't see your screen.
oh, sorry. Oops. Oh, thank you. I thought I was already sharing. Okay, right. So once you have downloaded, you can expand on the database to see the tables in the database. And this is the list of tables. And this is similar to what you find in the real world with several tables containing different information. Remember, we talked about the concept of creating database, understanding the concept, then creating each of your tables as subject information and their columns as characteristics of data that you want to get from them. So as an analytics person, for you to understand the relationship between these tables, you would need what we call a database schema diagram. The database schema diagram would have been created or is existing, so you just need to request for it. So I've downloaded the schema diagram for AdventureWorks DB, and I'm just going to explain partly the diagram. So the schema contains information about sales, purchasing, production, human resources, and all that, and persons. So an organization would have this maybe these various departments, and then they have a database containing information or data about their various interactions. So let's pick on, let me reduce this a little. Okay, right. So let's pick on the tables relating to human resource and see the relationship between them. So I'm going to start with the department table. So there's a department table that contains the name, the name and the group name, right? So of course, for us to see what's in department table, we're just going to go to our schema, to our database environment, and we'll just do select star. So to make the table name more descriptive, what they've done is to create each table with the departmental name before the table name. So you have human resources dot department, right? So I will just do select down this, and you can see. So in this table, right, from human resources department, what they've just done is to list all their various departments and the group name that they belong to, right? So you can see group name, you can see name. Of course, if I want to see departments from a particular group, I need to use my where clause. I'm sure you are familiar with this script. Group name equals, SQL is not case sensitive, so of course you can write in small or capital letters. So if I do this, it's showing me the departments that fall under certain groups. So this is just a simple SQL script. but what I want us to concentrate on now is the diagram. So the primary key for departmental table is departmental ID, right? And now this departmental table will tell us the various employees that belongs to that department. So for us to know the various employees that belong to the department, we will check up on employee department history, and employee department history also connects to employee table, right? So let's go back now to see the actual data and how it relates. So let's go to employee table. So select star from human resources employee table. So these are the employees in that organization. So, right. So you can see that employee table has business entity ID as primary key, but it has some foreign keys in it. The foreign keys, anything that you see containing ID would likely be a foreign key. So we have national ID, log ID. We have row guild, right? So employee, I was thinking I'll find the department ID here, but from the schema, and that's why you need the schema. From the schema, there's no direct relationship from department and employee. Um, there is an interconnecting table, which is the employee department history table. So we need to check up on this table first and then see the connecting details. So you can just do select star from employee department history. Right, so from this employee department history, I can know the employee, I can know the business entity ID. Let's do a join and see for a particular employee. So I'm going to use department ID and connect to department table. So let's do this. Let's do a join. So we are joining this table to departments, right? So you need to specify the join type. That will be using on. I don't want to drag and drop this long, so I'm going to use a table alias. So a dot department ID. Okay, so let's pick start date, end date. I'm going to pick for a particular one. Like typing. Department history. Let me copy the columns from here. Then we get the name of the corresponding department. E dot, what's this, A dot. So the corresponding department will get it from here. We want to know the name and the group name. So let's execute this. Okay, right. So we have done a join on department and department history. I'm coming department history. So let's see what is connecting department history to employee, which is the business entity ID. And of course, you have that under employees table as well. So let's pick for a particular employee. Let's run this first to see for which employee you want to pick. So let's pick for the chief executive officer, right? So we are going to join this again with the employee table. Okay, now let me do it like this. C join this table as B on C dot business entity ID plus D dot business entity ID. But of course, I need to have selected entity ID from here. A dot okay. So don't worry, I'm going to still explain in clarity what we are trying to achieve. Okay, so because I want for just the CEO, I'll say where this equals 1. Where is it? So let's pick this as C dot this. Okay, so this will be D, and D. Okay, so let's do this. So, okay, yeah, that's from here. C dot. I need to define everything. Okay, let's do set. Join this and this. D and C to D. Business entity ID, employee. business entity ID, invalid column C. Okay. Mm. Just sorry, that's employee, right? Contains business entity ID. Okay, so let's do this again. So this employee table, business entity ID. So we are connecting business entity ID to where it exists in employee history table, right? So do join employee history table right. Let's just take one business entity ID so it doesn't come back as ambiguous. So these two will give us a join between them. Then we want to know the department that employee belongs to. So we are going to do let's do left join. We're going to do another left join on the employee, on the department. Call this A, B, then C. On B dot employee history and what's it called? Department. Let's see what's joining them. That would be department ID. Let's see. Employee history. Okay. That would be department ID. No, that's okay, great, etc. Okay, right. So now let's pick what we want to pick. Employees, job title, comma, birth date, comma, marital status. I'm interested in the name. Let's see. Okay. But where is the name? Let's go back to the schema. I hope we're still together. Candidate job history. The name, this department name. Okay. Persons type, name, role guide. Oops. This adventure works is really very structured. So we'll use the role guide to find the name in persons. Okay, so let's go back. So I'm trying to get the list of the employees, their names. And of course, this is what you will face if dealing with data in a structured RDBMS. So don't worry, the rest of the script, I'm just going to paste them and explain them. I mean, I won't have to write or develop them this way, but I'm just showing us how to develop a script. So let me show us what I'm trying to do. So if you check on employees table, just do a select star on employees tables. Right. You will see that employees table does not contain name, but there's a foreign key that connects you to the table where you find the name. It contains a foreign key known as row guide. So foreign key row guide, right? So this row guide connects to persons table where you have persons. I should have looked for a much more simpler database than this. But well, it's good you also do the hard bone. Right. So in persons table, you find names of all the individuals in that organization, their first name, middle name, last name. And you can connect to it using the row guide. Let me see, business entity ID. Okay, I think we can use business entity ID too, but okay, we can use business entity ID. Right, so we use business entity ID. So business entity ID is more appropriate because that's the primary key on our persons table. So we'll use the foreign key business entity ID. So business entity ID is not case sensitive, so we are fine. So if you execute this script, you would already have business entity ID, right? So we'll just do another join. So don't worry, I'm going to explain this, my complex script to you, but I just want to achieve the result first so I can then put you through easily. A, B, C, D, E. Let me use E alias here. And then I'll say on A dot business entity ID equals to E dot business entity ID. So from E, oops, what did I do? Why are you reducing? I don't know why it has just reduced the size. Okay, so here now we can pick the names. We can know the names of right. So that would be can say E dot persons, right? My typing. Now the first name, comma E dot middle name, E dot last name. Hopefully when I'm doing the next video, I won't make the example as complex as this. But right, so we are able to combine four tables, right? The employee history, department, business entity, to be able to know the names of our workers, the information and all that of our workers in the AdventureWorks DB. Now, I will tell you why you need to combine four tables. Right, let's go back to our diagram. In our diagram, you can see that your employee information is in your employee table, right? Let me expand a bit on this. Okay. Please follow this quick explanation with me. So if you have an RDBMS, for you to understand the relationship between the tables, you need the database schema or diagram. Right, as an analytics expert, you need to always create a wide table that contains all the information you need. If I want to work on this database now, there's no point for me taking just employee table alone with the way the data in it is, right? Because it contains a lot of foreign key. And this employee table is not going to give me information on who the employees are, their departments, their their employment history, the types of shifts they've run, and all other information about them. So I need to expand on this employee table, and to do that, I have to know all the connecting tables to it, and then write a script that will get me all the related information. So my focus is on the list of employees, right? So based on this, I can see that the employee table has a link to employee department history using the departmental ID. No, let's see. Why is it looking? What's connecting this to the? Oh, sorry, using business entity ID. Right, you can see it's specified as primary key and foreign key. And you can find business entity ID as well in your departmental history table. You can also use business entity ID as well to connect to where the names and details of the employees are stored, right? Then with this, you can know their current department. So this will show you the current department of the employee and some other information about the employee. So for us to do that, we needed to write a script that will combine, a select script, of course, that will combine all the various tables together. And to do that, you just need the join clause, right? So you can study this diagram in much more detail on your own. I have just used it to explain how to get information for employees. So let me go back to my script now and explain what we have written in the script. To make it more visible, let me copy this script into a Word file where I can expand on it. Okay, nice. Yeah. Okay, so let's expand on this quickly. So remember that the information we are trying to get is our employee information. So the first table we needed to retrieve information from was the employee table. And I've taught us the concept of alias, table alias. So I needed to use a table alias here because if I'm doing my select, I need to select business entity or the column connecting two or more tables from just one table, right? So I'm picking from employee table and then I'm joining to employee departmental table, departmental history table, right? Using business entity ID key, right? So you can see I'm using my table alias here to indicate the joining factor. So join based on this and give me this information from the two tables. I hope we understand this. I'm sure some questions may arise after this, but of course, that would help us to understand it better. So based on the information I have here, I also want to use departmental ID to then know the department of the employee. And remember, when you use a left join, it will collect all the information in the table on the right. So your first table is always your table on the right to collect all the information and collect matching information on the table on the left. So left join on department, then left join on persons. So by the time we run this script, it will be able, we can then use this to fetch the names of the employee, right? First name, middle name, last name, which is contained in the last table we are joining to, which is the persons table, right? Every other information as well, will fetch them from maybe resources table, human resources table. I can use that to know the department, right? I can also fetch some more information from my department history table. So with this now, when I ran the script, it gave me the names of the employees, their job titles, and if I want their department as well, I'll just put it in my select list to give me the birth date, marital status, and much more detailed information about the department. So you can see how we have combined different things that we have learned in various classes to write a complex select script to get information from four tables. So this is an example of a complex select script. There is a URL I pasted on our chat box. So on that URL, we are just going to go and copy some scripts there and use that to explain or examine some much more complex SQL scripts. Okay, any question on database diagram and on the script I've just explained before we go on? Yeah, so I just pasted a link now to our chat area. On that link, we have some scripts in SQL, which I'm going to copy and paste, and then we'll see some other ways we can run scripts together. Okay, while I'm doing that, please ask a question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
I just wanted to know if, like, you had four tables to get a particular information. Is there some kind of optimized way is this the only route? Is this the only way? Could you use, like, say, 3 joins or 2 joins to get the same result?
Fantastic question. So the number of tables you would need to get your result depends on the way the existing database has been structured, right? So this is a complex database actually, but it's well structured, right? So in this database, what they've done is that they have all the names of anybody within that organization written in a person's table with their biography information. I'm going to show that to you again in the diagram. So this person's table contains all the names of anybody in that organization, their email, their demographics, and their contact info, right? And then there's a business entity primary key, right? So persons here is connected to employee because employees are persons. Persons is also connected to purchase order because customers who are making purchases are also persons. So it's much more in some databases you might not find it like that. You might find persons is also connected to documents. Right, maybe documents are being linked to whoever person is creating or modifying it. So you can see I'm just following the arrow from that document, the arrow to persons. So the database of various organizations can be organized in various ways, right? Depending on how complex their operations are. So all you just need to do is to look at the relationship between the tables in your database, preferably using the database diagram. If there's no database diagram, then you manually need to imagine it using primary key and foreign keys of your tables and related tables, right? So the number of tables that would then be in your query will depend on where your information is contained. Is it clear? So you can see I started with employee table, and employee table contains business entity ID. Oh, okay. And then business entity ID information is in persons. Oh, nice. So, right, we could have connected this directly to persons because persons has employee information. So if we run this, it will give us what we want. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I didn't even notice that I was missing. I was going a step and a step over and over again. Right. So since employee table is connecting directly to persons, I can use this to get the information of my persons for my employees. Right. Thank you. Is that clear?
Yes, ma. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Let's go to that link and then let's copy the first query in that link, which is also based on AdventureWorks DB. And we're just going to paste it here. And then together we'll study the script and see what it's doing. Please, can someone help me to, how can I expand on this environment so that it's bigger? You know, it's not.
Can you try control and your right arrow key or something?
Control, then right arrow. No, it's not. I should hold down the control key.
Yes.
I'm doing that. It's not expanding. It was even bigger than before, and then.
I'll check on later.
Okay, thank you. Can't even find Zoom yet. And not full screen. Please bear with me. I know my display is so tiny, but I hope you have the link. You can also copy and paste and try it on your own. Okay, pending while we find a solution to that, let's do a makeshift. So I'm going to put on a notepad. Notepad I use. Zoom out. Okay, control plus minus. Control plus plus. Okay. Okay, right. So this is the script I want to run now. In that script, so if I did control plus plus here, let me see if it will work. Control plus plus. Control plus plus is not working. Let's go back to our notepad. Okay, so this is the script, and in this script, we want to select information from sales orders table. This is it here. Yeah, sales orders table, right. Okay, sales orders header table. Right, it contains many information. Okay, so sales orders table contains a column subtotal, and then you can just use this to select for a particular customer. This is a simple script for us. We already know this. So it's just a simple where clause. Let's do all. Okay, so let's just pick any existing customer ID. There's no one there, so you might need to change that script. Right, so, okay, so we have list of customers and all their orders. So based on this, we can use the sum function. There are some functions I didn't teach us, which I would bring up during our demo classes. So now I can sum on all the sales that this customer has made, But because I'm using the sum function, I need to group the other values of this customer. So I'll do group by sum and group. Right. Okay. Sum this group by customer and this. Hold on. Give me only this guy. Oh, okay, because I'm using group by. You can't use group by and where. I'm coming. Sorry. This will give what I want now. Yeah, you can go on. You want to say something?
Yeah, to expand, you hold the control key and then scroll the mouse.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm actually using my keyboard, my mouse keyboard. So I don't know, it's not allowing me to scroll. Oops. Oh, sorry, I can't scroll. But thank you, I'll note that. Okay, yeah, so this function, with this function, you can perform a sum on numerical or floating values in your database. Now, whenever you are using the sum function, you'd also use a group by clause along with your sum function. So you can see when I run this now, it will give me all the customers, right? And each of their sum on their sales, the amount they spent on their sales. If I want to see for a particular customer, then I can do a nested select like this. I'm sorry, I'm going to share this file with us so we can see how we have done it. So if I'm using a nested select, I can use the where clause with it, where customer ID is this guy. So I want for a particular customer ID. So select star from table where okay. Sorry. Select star from table where a dot customer ID is this. Okay. So this thing is I need to complete it. Seeing my table name as ambiguous, so let's complete this and it's this comma Right. So okay, I see. I think there's something else that I need to filter by. Okay, so I can see for this customer and I can see, okay, yeah, all the sales orders. So I should filter by sales order as well. Okay, and sales order, or okay, if we want to see for all the sales order, we just remove sales order from our list. So give us total sum done by customers. I know why, because I still have you here. Let me write this query properly. So this customer ID sum total, right? From this, so I need to group by customer ID. This will give me for all the customer, right? If I want for a particular customer, I would need to use the having to indicate for the customer. Okay, right. So this will indicate for a particular customer. Let's pick another one more script from our DB. I mean, from our URL. Let's use this one. Copy, paste. Okay, so right. Let's execute this and see. Adventure Works 2019. That's the name of our own DB because they've put it in different versions. Okay, so this is actually correct, but it's not having the filter requested. Let's do this and see. Right. Order dates. Order dates will be in sales order. Let's see the dates that we have in our order dates. Okay, to do that, let's just select star everything from order dates. Okay, so we don't have 2003, that's why. Let's just change this to 2011. 2011. April. Let's pick April. Month, day, year. Let me see. Hope it's month, day, year. Okay, this month. Okay, that's 05. So it's month, day, year. Okay, so let me run this. Let's see. Okay, nice. Okay, so when running the script from that URL I gave you, you might need to update on the parameters there because it's using an older version of Adventure Works DB. And we are using the newer version. So look at this Adventure. Okay, let me put this on Notepad. Right, so you already know what this first line means. It's for you to indicate the database. You can use this or you can change your database here. Then in this select script, you can see that they are selecting from sales orders table. The table is being aliased as S. So whenever it's using S here, it means it's picking from that particular table, right? Then the table is joined to sales territory table to get the information on the name of the customers, right? Sorry, the name of the territory, I guess. Then this is the join factor on. On is the join factor. Then you want to know all the order made between certain dates, right? So when we execute this, you can see it's showing us the name of the territory, the orders that were made there, the customer ID, the territory ID. I can expand more on this information to know who the actual customers are because I have the customer ID. I can expand more on this information to know who the sales order information because I have order ID. So that's the idea between complex scripts. I'm going to stop here and hopefully you can check out more complex scripts from this URL indicated here. You can see it also gives an explanation of what the script is doing. So you can read this information here to get explanation of what each script is doing. Then you can see select count star. We've done this several times. This is just a simple way to count. Select distinct to give you unique values, right, of different information you want. You can combine your SQL scripts in various ways, but my main aim is just for you to understand how to read this information. Yeah, so I'll stop there on complex SQL scripts, and I would enjoin you to use all the information we've learned at different classes to be able to read on complex SQL scripts. You can even perform arithmetic operations, do substring operations in your script. You can see we are doing a date part here. We just want to get the year of a date, right? So if you have any question on complex SQL scripts, or maybe you're trying to write a complex script from your own kind of data, you can contact me and I will sure be of assistance. Yeah, we are going to stop here today. We are running out of time. Sorry, we are not able to continue with the Python installation, but we are going to start off on that tomorrow. But it's important that we were able to do the things we did today. I will drop the link for the Python installation that we'll be using so that by tomorrow we already have it downloaded and possibly installed. But first thing tomorrow, I'm going to run through the installation of the Python that I'll be using. So we'll be using Anaconda package for our Python installation. Yeah, you can ask a question.
Okay, well, I don't know if you are conversant with Azure Visual Studio. It appears to have the Python package come with it. I don't know if it will be necessary to now download Anaconda again.
Yeah, you can use Azure. Azure 2 is fine. You don't need to use Anaconda. Yeah, I just prefer to use Anaconda because it already comes with a lot of pre-installed packages, and easily you can you can scale with Anaconda compared
Okay.
to, like Azure is from Microsoft.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's fine. You might not need to download Anaconda.
Thank you.
Just like Microsoft Studio is to Microsoft Server, that's how Anaconda is to Python. Python on itself is an independent installation, right? But for Anaconda, on Anaconda you can use, just like Azure too, that you can use different softwares on it. On Anaconda as well, you can do R on it, you can do Python, you can do and then Anaconda is light, right? So to download and install Anaconda, let me get the link and share with us. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Right. So please download and install this Anaconda against tomorrow. For those who are not familiar with Python yet, and then we'll continue here tomorrow. Thank you. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any question for today's class while I'm saving and sending us the scripts we have used in the class?